Listen, we're the same as last season. We're not stronger. We're exactly the same. Um, and I'll tell you why. Because Rice has replaced Chaka. Timber has replaced Tierney. Um, then you can look at Kai Havertz. Raya has replaced Turner. There's only really Havertz I'm looking at, bro. And maybe Timber, if you take Rob Holding out of the mix, then I suppose he's replaced him and upgraded on him. But how many upgrades is there to our squad? There might be to our first 11. Declan Rice, I loved what Xhaka did last year, but for me, I'm taking Declan Rice all day long over Granit Xhaka, right? So that's an upgrade in the first 11. Now let's look at the bench. Our bench, right, which apparently the fans have been saying I was out of order to give it a 6.5 out of 10 window. Apparently it was a 9 out of 10 window. How can it be a
I
9
don't
out
know
of a
about
10
that.
window? How can it
Don't
be a
know
9
about
out
that
of
one.
10 window when I'm looking at the bench and I'm seeing Tomiyasu, Cedric, El Neni, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Eddie, David Raya or Ramsdale, whatever one you want to look at it. Tell me the different names on that bench. Kai Havertz is the only one, and people have got question marks, and he's starting a lot of the time. So I don't think we are stronger. I think our first 11 is probably stronger when everybody's fit, but we haven't been able to see that yet, unfortunately. I'm a big fan of the Rice signing and the Timber signing, but the other ones, for me, we needed more. I still feel we are a defender, a box-to-box midfielder, a Saka replacement winger, and a central striker away from Man City, bro. That's 4 players. So, yeah, I don't think we did enough, man.
I don't think you're alone in that, man. You literally bang on the money. That's all the areas I would want. I'd say out of push in January, I still think we need a central midfielder. And I got a lot of pelters on my channel for saying, oh, why would you want another midfielder? Give Havertz a chance, which I'm prepared to give him a chance. Like, I'm not anti-Havertz. Obviously, it's underwhelming. We'll get onto him. No one cannot be a fan of Declan Rice and Tim, but I just feel the midfield needed to be addressed. And I do think we miss Granit Xhaka, I'll be honest. And as much as I like Xhaka and obviously what he did last season, it's not like Messi in it. Like we shouldn't be talking about Xhaka not being there. It's more of what we haven't done and the teething issues. And as much as I like what Mikel Arteta is doing, if I'm praising him for how he's assembled the squad, if it's looking shaky or certain moments are making me not confident, then I have to get onto the gaffer, because you could see how Timber in his own way gets us closer to City. You can see the same with Declan Rice. Obviously, I hope Havertz can start to show that in the years he's at the club, but right now you can't see it. He looks like he needs this handheld. Unfortunately, he looks like a raw 18-year-old overruled by the occasion that's just come out of the academy. And we shouldn't be saying that about a Champions League winner who plays for his country and obviously doing things like that. And I don't like to use the young thing either, but you've got a wealth of experience at 25 that, is kind of parallels to Jesus and Zinchenko and a lot that the Sakas and Cole could learn of. You mentioned it. How do you actually feel about Kai Havertz? Because I'm sure many people like myself, when we was linked with him, we thought it was kind of rumors, and then obviously he's ended up at the club. What have you made of Kai Havertz in an Arsenal shirt? And are you still concerned, I guess, specifically in the middle of the park in that left 8?
What have I made of Kai Havertz in an Arsenal shirt? Very unconvincing. Very unconvincing. I don't see a position for the lad. Wherever he's playing, it's been bang average. He's very negative, gets the ball, keeps it calm, slows it down, sideways, backwards, never drives forward. I haven't seen any late runs into the box like Aaron Ramsey and Fabregas used to do, like everyone told me he was going to be. I've seen a poor Granit Xhaka replacement, if that's supposed to be the replacement. And I don't actually know why people are saying, we don't need another midfielder, give Havertz a chance. This guy's not a midfielder. This guy is very attack minded, because all he does is stand up there top and pass it backwards. I want my midfielder to come start backwards and go
So
forwards,
harsh, but
not
so true.
start up there and come forward. So for me, bro, people say it's really difficult for you to be so negative about Kai Havertz. You've got to give him time. You've got to give him a chance. If this guy had 6 games in the Premier League, I'd be more all for it. But this guy's had 3 years in the Premier League in a club where, let's be real, everyone was saying was toxic. And this time he needs a chance. Well, I'm prepared to give him the first 10 games of the season. So he's got, 4 left to impress me? Otherwise, I'm keeping him out the side and I'm saying, right, why are you ahead of Fabio Vieira? Why are you ahead of Emil Smith Rowe? Why are you ahead of Reece Nelson? Why are you getting ahead, to be fair, of players like Eddie when he's actually been scoring goals and running around, showing some energy? So for me, I'm going to start asking him questions if it continues. I think Arteta needs to be ruthless with Kai Havertz like he's been with Aaron Ramsdale if these performances continue, bro. Because for me, it ain't been, even yesterday's performance, come on, shoot. What are you trying to cut it on your right for? Aren't you supposed to be a left-footed man? Do you know what I'm saying? So
You're right, bro.
frustrating, bro. Frustrating is my kind of overall with Kai Havertz. I just don't get it. I don't think it's going to work, man.
And I can't lie, I'm very pessimistic on Kai Havertz. I'm all for giving him an opportunity and giving him time. But on that logic, you know, give him as much time as you want, but the collective comes first. You've got a 20-odd man squad. You've got all the Arsenal fans. You've got us wanting to move forward. We can't tailor to Kai Havertz beyond the point. And the problem is there's no alternatives. Obviously, Rice is having a little knock. Partey's out. And this is where I was looking at Mikel Arteta, because you knew what we were stepping into this season. There's a game almost every 3 days, 2 games a week. Now we're in the thick of it. We're in every competition at this moment in time, excluding the FA Cup, which, as we know, is coming into the turn of the year. As every Arsenal fan knows, it's a bit of a difficult period right now with injuries. At what point do you think Arteta has to say, do you know what? Kai Havertz is not the answer. Again, I don't know if he'll ever be the answer, but he started him, playing him in big games. Sometimes I think he's done all right. In recent weeks, he's given it to Fabio Vieira. So how long do you think he's going to kind of persist with this, or is an extended, like he's going to have an extended stay for Havertz on the bench?
I think he's already starting, isn't he? To wonder whether this guy is a starter or if he can have some form of impact from the bench. And what I would like to see now is him used as a different dimension centre forward, because he can't do the number 8 role. He hasn't been given a chance ahead of Erdegaard and probably won't be in the 10 role. So for me, it has to be now filling in on Havertz for some crosses in the box to try and use his size as a different dimension, like an Olivier Giroud type. Because for me, when we saw that at the Community Shield against Manchester City, it's probably one of the okay performances he had. And he was up top and things were sticking to him. He was linking up people. He was passing it well. And for me, he was just used as a bit of a man-mountain target man type. And I think that might be where we have to use this guy now coming off. You remember Fabio Vieira had a season last season where it didn't really work out for him, in my opinion. But actually, when he came off of the bench against Fulham and against Forest and against Palace, he was actually contributing at the start of this season. And that then gave him a start against Everton where I thought he was very good. And at the moment when Fabio Vieira is getting on the ball, I'm now starting to think, calm. I'm seeing some flair now. I'm seeing some energy and some drive.
Some confidence.
I wasn't seeing that. Yeah, I wasn't seeing that last season. So maybe Kai Havertz needs to be on the bench, and then that might wake him up and go, okay, I've been given a chance now and I ain't taking it. So next time I get on, I'm going to prove why I need to be starting. And I would be doing something like that. Say, right, let's take Jesus off now or put him wide and bring Eddie off, and we'll have Kai Havertz through the middle or something like that. Because for me, it isn't working in this starting 11 as an attacking 8 for me at all.
I mean, you're not wrong. Right now, it isn't working. Sometimes I think he borders on being scapegoated. But I think when I look at Kai Havertz, you do the defensive actions relatively decent. You know, you win some headers, you tackle, you waste a bit of time. And I salute that, because we need that as game management. But you should be able to do that anyways, as well as what Arsenal fans want to see. Obviously, grabbing the game by the balls and doing things. I think the issue with Havertz is he's one of these players in the modern game, bro, where I think you can play everywhere. But as you've kind of alluded to, what are you? Are you a striker? You ain't really got shooting boots. So yeah, we could put the crosses in, but you're not clinical. Are you a number 8? Don't think, as you said, and I agree, grabbed all of the chances in all of the aspects of being a central midfielder. The only issue now is we spent 65 million. He's probably got a 4 or 5 year deal. There's not really a get out clause, really. There's not really something like an exit. Like when you've got a little Lokonga, which 17 odd million quid, you can get away with that, really. We'll hold our L. When you spent big money at a turning point like this, where we're trying to get closer to City, all I can say for Kai Havertz is, I hope you can prove me wrong in it, because I don't necessarily think you're not good enough, but I don't think you're good enough as well. I don't think you're the answer. I didn't think he was the answer. And that was always going to define the summer for me, because everyone would be open to Timber even if you didn't watch him. Everybody's seen what Declan Rice has been doing with Havertz before he's kicked a ball. To be fair, many people, we've seen what he's done in the Chelsea shirt, and at the moment he's still doing the same thing. And I would like to see a confident Kai Havertz, because you might get a tune out of him that you don't with Fabio Vieira. But I think Fabio Vieira technically, to me anyways, looks a bit better than Havertz. You know, his passing range is there. At least when Martinelli's fit, there's a sort of connection there. He's looking a lot more confident. And as you said, I think Fabio Vieira, so far, he's taken all of his opportunities so far. I just think I'm just still not convinced over any of the candidates. Where are you with Smith Rowe now? Because he finally got a start, got his 100th cap yesterday for the club. Looks like he might get an opportunity in weeks to come. Would you play him in the 8 role? Do you see him starting under Mikel Arteta anytime soon?
Has to be, man, because of the injuries we've got. This is a massive season for Smith Rowe, and people have kind of written him off. Now, 499 days without a start is a worrying stat.
That's crazy.
100 caps, yeah, that's great, but that's crazy at 499. And I think for me, bruv, Smith Rowe needs somehow to get into this 11, and when he does, he needs to stay there. He's looked sharp to be fair to him. So he's not like on the wrong path or track or anything. But he has got a number of positions he can play. He can play right, left, or attacking 8 for me, and he probably could play in the Ødegaard role as well. So there's enough opportunities for him for when players are injured, and injuries are here right now. There's no Trossard, there's no Martinelli. It looks like Saka's got a knock. Who's going to play in the 2 attacking 8 options? Is it going to be Havertz and Ødegaard, or is it going to be Smith Rowe, or do they all get a nod?